Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us today. We're super excited to be able to share with you today's topic is what type of a person do we serve here at Love Inc. Today I have a guest with me. Her name is Hutchinson, and we'll be chatting with her about some of this stuff. If you find this content valuable and exciting to hear, or you want to know more information about the things we do here at Love Inc., or how poverty could and should be addressed biblically, make sure you hit the subscribe button and leave a comment in the comment section if you'd like to know more information or you have other questions that we can maybe address in future videos. For right now, I want to turn us over to Lori Hutchinson, my guest for today. Lori, how are you doing?
Fine, Stuart. Thank you for inviting me today.
Yeah, I'm so excited that you're here. I really am. I think we're going to have a lot of fun today. And so I'm going to ask you a few questions about yourself, about your church, things that kind of are interesting to you, which I think you might find might be fun. So tell me about yourself. What brought you to Love Inc.?
I came to Love Inc. through a church member that said, you should come down and meet the people here. And I came down and I met all the wonderful folks that work here. And I saw the clientele they served, and I said, this is where I want to serve. So Here I am. I've been here probably 7 years, and I love it.
Yeah, and we love that you're here as well. Now,
Thank
obviously,
you.
your 7 years goes beyond my 2 years, and so you are a valuable asset here, and somebody that we rely on, especially as a newer director and newer here myself. We just get so much great information from you, but just really the joy that you bring to this place is so beneficial because the work we do is hard. And the clients and the people that we serve are in hard times.
They are.
And so when they come in and they have your joyful spirit and your smiling face, it just elevates everything. And we're so grateful for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if I ask, what church do you attend?
First Evangelical Presbyterian Church in Oregon City.
Okay. And how long have you been there?
Probably 7 years.
Pastor Bruce.
Pastor Bruce.
He's been there for quite a while as well.
Yes. Hi, Pastor Bruce.
Hey, Pastor Bruce.
I was a deacon for a while. Okay. And our church is wonderful because anytime I ask Pastor Bruce, hey, I want to talk about Love Inc., okay, he says, so I go up and talk to the congregation about what we might need or thank him for things they've donated. So they knew who to contact if they needed more information. That would be me.
What do you feel like is the value to the church that you get to bring maybe uniquely as a bridge between Love Inc. and your church?
Our church is wonderful because when I refer people there, the first thing that happens when you go to our church is someone opens the door for you and they greet you. And then they give you a program. And if you're new, they will welcome you. We have little bags for children if they're go to the children's ministry so they can color and draw. And all the deacons are everybody's just wonderful. They'll walk around and, oh, are you new? Welcome, and this is who we are and what we do. And that is what I bring to Love Inc., I think, is I love to be greeting people at the door if they're coming in for appointments or coming in to meet with someone. I'm like, hi, I'm Lori. What are you here for an appointment? Okay, come on in.
Yeah.
Being that welcoming person.
So today we want to talk about our clients.
Okay.
And maybe we can get into some of the details of who they are, maybe some of their background, why they might have called Love Inc. or why they might have gone to a church to maybe to have different needs. Mm-hmm. And I know you have even a background in different services. Maybe just share kind of for our audience, kind of share a little bit about your background and serving clienteles.
I worked for nonprofits, and I've worked also in a hospital for over 35 years, working with clients that had a lot of needs, mental health needs, drug and alcohol needs, and just personal needs. And I love to serve. I think that's what God's given me to do, and that's why I love to be at Love Inc. So the clientele we serve it's a wide range, but a lot of it focuses on single moms. Mm. What a tough time single moms have. Yeah. Some of them are coming out of domestic violence. Some of them are coming out of homes that will not accept them because you have a baby now. And they just need our love and support. And so that's what we're here to do, is to encourage them, love them, help them in the resources they might need, but also to bring them closer to God. Yeah. And we do that through referring them to church, letting them know that they're loved by God and just building them up every day that we can.
Yeah, that's great. And establishing that relationship with an individual, I know that we we talk about this a lot here, is establishing that relationship and going on a journey with them is such a beautiful thing that we have to do. And again, you're in a lot of ways the tip of the spear for that for us here, which is great. What is maybe a typical client? You mentioned already some of the moms, the single moms, and moms have gone through, or women have also gone through domestic violence. What are some other demographic of individuals that we might serve here?
We serve a lot of families. We have a couple of really wonderful Ukraine families that come in.
Yeah.
They're just so loving and caring and so grateful for all that we can do for them. And we don't, our main goal, I think, at Love Inc. is not just to serve you one time. It's like, come in, we want to build a relationship with you. And they come back and they go, oh, hi, I know you. And, we sit down and talk about how they're doing and things are going and how their kids are. And so a lot of family service is important. We'll serve single dads. We'll serve elderly. I mean, we have a lot of ministries here. We have the furniture ministry. We have the ministry for medical needs. A lot of people call up, how do I get a wheelchair? Well, it gets delivered free to you. And that, and then we have some wonderful people, volunteers doing that, and they go out and, they make that relationship and connection and talk about other needs they might have. And so then they come back to us.
Maybe a typical person client of ours might call in. Like, what are some of the challenges that they're facing in our community?
Probably right now, economical. We don't have any money to give them, so we use the resources that we can get to them. We always tell them about churches, that can help. Do you go to a local church? Do you need some, you need some names of churches? We can help with care pantry needs, personal hygiene, firewood, furniture. So we can do a lot, but we can't do it all.
Yeah, that's good. You had mentioned as far as the individuals might be facing economic issues. What are some of the ways that we might help steer them if we don't give them money? How do we steer them to help make those ends meet?
I will tell a story about this wonderful young woman with she has a baby. She came to one of my parenting classes. She had been homeless with her boyfriend and gotten pregnant. Through her own initiative, she was able to get herself housing, but she had nothing. So we were able to get her furniture, supplies for her home. Here she was coming to class to learn more about how to take care of her child and herself. And she learned about college. She's in college now. And we had a wonderful Christmas party for the clients that were in class, and it was a joy to see them. And that connection hasn't gone, that we stay in contact. How you doing? What are you doing? Things going okay? Merry Christmas, those kinds of things. So those relationships are wonderful. And to see this young woman who was homeless a few months ago, has her own home and just taking care of herself and her baby.
That the beautiful part of, and I remember your class, and I remember some of your students you had in that class, just how grateful they were that individuals were interested in investing in them. Can you talk more about that as far as your class and some of the individuals we might have in your classroom? And
I think I've done a few classes, and I think everybody is totally engaged. They want to learn more how to take care of themselves and take care of their children. But a lot of them need that building up. So we talk about respect for each other. We talk about respect for yourselves. And we tell them, you are loved. God loves you so much. You're not alone. And, they might end up crying. I had one woman who came to class, and she was with 3 little girls, and she was very angry because her husband divorced her and causing trouble, and she had to move here from a different state. So she was really angry the first few classes. And at the end of class, she comes up, gives me a big hug. She was just she had gotten a job and she was blossoming, and the kids were happy. And it's such a growth to watch these women and these clients just flourish.
The individuals who are willing and wanting to walk with us find success.
Yes, and they grow, and you can see it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a success story. So it's like, look what you have done. And sometimes you sit down and point that out to them, they're like, oh, I guess I am doing well. And
Yeah.
yes, you are.
Well, and so so sometimes as we grow, we don't recognize some of our own growth,
No.
so you even point that out to them. Another thing about our clientele are typically, and we don't want to stereotype maybe too much, but do you find that a lot of the clients that we serve currently and regularly attend church?
I don't know the percentage. Some do, some don't. A lot of them, I mean, we pray with them. No one has said, please don't pray with me. So a lot of them are in different steps with where they are with the walk with God. So we try to make those steps towards a church, and because that community there is so important, I think, to be in a community with God.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's that, and you talk about community, and I would wonder, and this is something that maybe you can address as well, is that their current social construct, their own community, whether it be family or friends or coworkers, are maybe not always the healthiest for them to be around.
Right.
And hoping for us to be able to put them into a church community or a small group or around other individuals that gives them hope and people who are not going to tear them down.
That's important. We do that. I do that in class. But I think also the churches, I mean, my church, we build people up.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. And everyone is greeted warmly. And what a great community, because if you're, recovering from drugs or alcohol, you don't have those friends anymore if you want to stay clean and sober. So
Right.
you have to make new friends. Well, where do I go do that? Come to classes at Love Inc., find a local church. A lot of the AA meetings and NA meetings are held in churches.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's a connection.
Yeah, and it is. It's all about the connection. And I know that so many of us, when we become isolated, that's when a lot of our challenges and our problems really come to fruition because we have no one that's healthy to kind of help us keep us in check. And so I know that a number of our volunteers here, that is one of the resources that we provide. It's just that relationship to help them stay on track and to help them develop.
I think it's nice when a client calls up and says, can I talk to so-and-so? And that person, they know that person and have made a connection. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's great.
have a conversation with them.
Yeah, well, and it's so much fun, too. It's just to watch people. It's almost. I remember for me having a child, and just watching them develop, like watching my son to learn how to walk, was such a success. Then, of course, he gets into all more stuff, and that's always a pain. You have to lock more cabinets and get into more things. But it was just in the same way. I feel like watching our clients develop, grow, mature, and begin to flourish. I think that's such a beautiful attribute that we provide for our community, especially here in Clackamas County. What in your mind stands out for Love Inc. And how that we help?
I think for Love Inc., ours is really based on relationships and improving the client's status, which a lot of agencies do. But I think we go one step further because we are checking in and making sure, not just giving out information, say, okay, go here, do this. We are here. Call us. You can come see us. You have questions. Check back with us.
Yeah.
We check with them. How are you doing? So it's that really strong relationship, I think, that our Love Inc. does for folks.
Yeah, that's great.
And I think they appreciate that.
I almost feel like we're a good mom or dad. We're like a good, strong, family member that kind of makes sure that they're cared for, that they're safe, but we're not also going to let them get away with, being silly. That we really do want to care for them like a good parent does. And I wonder if some of our clientele, they don't get that, or they didn't get that even growing up.
So I think that important role model for them is to see how, okay, I'm a mom, and they, what did you do as a mom? Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, I had those ups and downs too, but this is what I did. Oh, I didn't think of that. And just seeing us here, believing in God and being worship and happy and, and joyful. A lot of people didn't get raised that way.
Yeah.
So to come in and see that and say, yeah, this is kind of a normal family situation. Oh. Or they
Yeah.
didn't think of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you feel like they respond pretty well to that, or do they feel guilty or shame, or do you feel like when they come in, they see maybe a healthier model of parenting or healthier model of living? Do you feel like they receive it well?
I think for some, you have to spend the time with them. I had a woman come in today for a care pantry. That's just, I want to get my stuff. But we sat down having a conversation. And I listened to her story, which I think is so important. And she was crying. She said, I'm crying because, no one's ever sat down and talked to me about this. And she felt really happy when she left. People want to hear other people hear their story.
Yeah, I think that's a big deal too. I think it's a big deal. We all want to share our story, and it's not a matter of being narcissistic or selfish, but we feel exonerated, we feel like relieved, and we feel human when we share our story. And one of the things I keep hearing time and time again is that I felt like they know who I am as a person when they leave Love Inc.
Yes.
Yeah. This has been a lot of fun, and I know our time is short, but we're going to have you back.
Okay,
and all that
sounds
good
great.
stuff. So this has been a lot of fun, but maybe if you would just something off the top of your head, off the top of your heart, maybe one thing you'd like to share, maybe on the subject matter or anything else that you'd like to share that might be beneficial to anyone watching.
I think anyone watching that loves God, loves people, and wants to volunteer, come and see us, please. We always need volunteers.
Yes, we do. Well, and with that, and we need church partners to engage as well. I know that we love our church partners. We love Bruce, and I have great times when I hang out with Bruce and have lunch with him, and so it's always a benefit and a pleasure for me to meet with him, but then all of our church partners. It's so great. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Thank you, Lori, for today and for discussing the subject with us and having a lot of fun. So be great. Thank you. For anyone else that if you have, again, more questions or you have interest in First Pres Church, or you want to connect with Lori, just send us an email or connect with us on our website, and we'd love to share more with you guys. Again, hit the subscribe button if this was helpful to you, and leave a comment in the comment section if you have any other questions, or if you want us to address any other subjects with Love Inc. or over the topic of poverty. God bless you guys. Take care.